alone right now, other than producing more, which I don't know if that's physically possible, but like, I mean, just focus on who's not in yet. Get them in. You know what you got to do, man. But okay, here's my thing with Jey Uso. We all know without a shadow of a doubt that, like, my man is about to go back to a tag team situation, or at least a team situation, because the writing's
with
all
the
over the
with the
wall.
bloodline, right?
Yeah. The writing is all over the walls, and if he's not involved in that, then that's weird booking and storytelling. But beyond that, man, he's gonna come back to a singles title reign, bro. Like, there's no way that they don't. I don't think that they overextend the tag team thing. I think once the Bloodline Civil War happens, and like all is said and done, and whoever's raised hands as victor, then we'll see everybody kind of split back off and do their own thing. I mean, we'll probably see Roman leave for a while. We'll probably see Jimmy hopefully do something to change his status, his character in the company, and then we'll probably see Jey like continue this dominance that he's actually been having on this as a singles competitor, because although he has had losses, he has had some very big wins, to ultimately lead to some losses. But like, I mean, I think he's fine.
Yeah, I think we need to see Jey Uso for what he is, which is somebody who could be in the main event. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
I don't know if he's the guy. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the conversation that people are having, and that's confusing them, especially with the main event moniker, is he the guy? And I feel like that. Once again, I just really feel like, and I've worked with Rikishi on more than one occasion. I've been in locker rooms with Rikishi. I know how that man is. I don't dare speak on, some of the things with his ego and stuff like that. But like, I know he's just looking out for his kid. You know what I'm saying? And he wants what's best for his kid. And at the end of the day, that's what we all want. But like, the last thing we need Rikishi being is the wrestling version of LeVar Ball. We just don't need that, because if you remember LeVar Ball, he didn't do his kids no favors by running his mouth all the time.
No, he didn't. Once he shut up, his kids started playing a little bit better, and became, consistent members of teams.
Yeah. And I think that also, Voice is making a good point here. I'm glad he said this. He's saying that Mania match set him back that far. I don't know if it set him back super far, but I do think that Mania match did not do him any favors.
Yeah,
because I think about the match they had and the anticipation that a lot of people, including myself, had on that match, and actually sitting down and watching that match, because you were at my house when we watched that match. You were with me. You know what I'm saying? And we had one of my buddies who's not a big time wrestling fan. He's a wrestling fan, but not like, he don't watch weekly and stuff like that. And that's my buddy Blake. And he came over, and first thing he said after that match is whack. And it's not the fact that the match was bad. I know you got a thought, but it's not the fact that the match was bad. It was at the fact that the match was, if this match happened on Monday Night Raw or something like that, we might not be saying that match was whack, this match was bad. But it was the circumstances, the stage it was on, and the fact that it did not meet expectations. And I think that's why people didn't like that match and didn't like where it goes. And I just think that match was really was a situation where we had to reevaluate how we saw both Jimmy and Jey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna lean to the side of that match was restricted due to time. I mean, and I'm gonna somewhat let them redeem themselves, because the next night that spear off the ramp was better than the match before, the day before. So like, they somewhat tried to redeem themselves. I don't think anybody's harping on them for that match.
No.
I think there was a timing issue, and like I I've forgotten that match more than I'm trying to remember what was wrong with it, to be honest. Like,
but let me stop you there, because what you just said was in itself the problem. Yes, you don't remember what was wrong with that match, but
right.
You also said you don't remember that match, and that in itself is the problem.
Oof, yeah, no, you got me there. I remember there was a match, and I remember Jay won, and I could probably disagree with that booking in itself, but yeah, you're right. Maybe that is a problem.
It wasn't memorable, and that in itself is the issue. But Jay does move on to win and get a step closer to the Intercontinental Championship, which is a title that a lot of people think in their mind is a right fit for him, with where he's at. And who am I to say that it's not? It could be a good fit for him, but on the flip side of things, where he won his triple threat match, we also had another triple threat match there, Hype, and that was The Miz, Xavier Woods, and Pete Dunne.
Yeah,
which saw Pete Dunne winning.
I know.
And I want to have a conversation about Pete Dunne, because we are seeing Pete Dunne start to rise a little bit. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing Pete Dunne start to find his footing again, and I think that that's exactly what we need. And I don't want to harp on this too much, but this is what goes to show you. This goes to show you that, especially in this current regime, this current WWE regime that has Triple H at the helm of it, if they like you, they're going to keep trying to make you work. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing with Pete Dunne. We're also seeing it with the Street Profits over on Friday Night SmackDown. And I also think, once again, I don't want to harp on this, I think this is why, one of the main reasons why I hated the decision of Ricochet going to AEW, because I think that WWE Triple H would have tried to make him work if he would have just hang tight, be patient, and just watch where things would have headed for him. And that's exactly what we're seeing with somebody like Pete Dunne, where Pete Dunne has now won a match that is now putting him in a situation where he's a step closer to the Intercontinental Championship. Pete Dunne's on a great trajectory right now. I like this rebirth of Pete Dunne that we're seeing. None of this butch crap, none of this making him be a spazzy hothead in a stable. Not to say that him being in the Brawling Brutes was a bad idea, because I totally understand that they're trying to make him work. But now we're seeing them try to make Pete Dunne work in a way that Pete Dunne was always intending for his character to be looked at, and I believe that it's starting to hit now, bro.
Well, I know we've moved on from Jay Uso, but like if we look at both Pete Dunne and a Jay Uso, we can realize that one, in this regime, wins and losses, although they matter, they matter both ways, because you can bounce back as fast as you fall, if that makes sense. We saw Pete Dunne lose in a match last week against Sheamus, right? Just to pick up this win in this triple threat for a chance to win, chance at the Intercontinental title. We seen Pete Dunne, in NXT pick up a big win over Trick Williams and have a few continuing with him during this time, man. They will definitely use you, and the parallel is Jey Uso. No one stopped using Jey Uso in any capacity, man, and he's getting title shot opportunity after title shot opportunity, and he's keeping him in those mix. So like I like what's happening right now, and it's kind of funny that you brought up Ricochet, and I hope that like he doesn't see this and think we're talking negatively about him or his company that he is currently signed to right now. But man, like I just think that like they set him up in his when in his exit to bring him back in the best way possible, that because I think they had a plan with Braun winning this Intercontinental title, and I could have saw Ricochet coming out of this, coming back, re-signing, having a short absence, and then coming back and beating Braun for the Intercontinental title, surpassing knocking stuff down here, surpassing even Jey Uso in getting that title win, man. But like here we are. I don't want to harp on the Ricochet thing because I think he's in his feels about it, and I don't want him necessarily in the comments like that. I want him in the comments like, but not like that. You know what I mean? Not like he's been on X.
He's been a mess on X, bro.
Bro,
I feel like he was waiting to go in like he went in last couple of days. I feel like he was waiting on that.
Yeah, Broly's been wilding, bro. So like, and probably just needs to put the phone down. He blamed it on a 10-hour flight, but like, I didn't even know you like. And the Wi-Fi in these planes must be crazy, bro.
Oh yeah, they got Wi-Fi in those planes, bro. It's real.
Just chill.
It's real.
Watch a movie.
Play some Nintendo Switch, bro. Do something.
Right.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I've always, and once again, I'm not going to sit up and harp on Ricochet, but since we talked about it, I've always loved Ricochet, and I've always liked his demeanor. I've always thought he was a great talent, all that stuff. But like, man, what is it about these talents that once they go to AEW, they kind of adopt that like Tony Khan immature mindset. We see it with Mercedes Moné. We see it with Ricochet now. And it's just like, once again, I feel like he was waiting to pop off the way he's been popping off. And he probably won't even see this. And if he does, bro, I still respect you. I want you to know that. Like, you're a great in-ring competitor. You do awesome stuff. But, brother, put that phone down because you're sitting over here arguing with people for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, for what? And it's a bad look. And, like, I just think that when you go on there, you know what? I'm done because I'm going to leave it at this. I'm going to leave it at this, and then we're going to move on and continue to talk about Pete Dunne. You just got a new contract with the new company. You got you know what I'm saying? You got you're probably feeling rejuvenated in your career because of that new situation that you're in. You got a beautiful woman on your arm. You're an incredible athlete. What are you doing arguing with these people, man? What are you doing? I hate it. I don't like it. And I just don't think that, like, if I was in his situation, I probably wouldn't be on X that much, bro, to be honest with you.
Can I be real? I know we're going to drop this subject, but like, this is a kind of an extension of AEW at the moment, and not to like harp on them, but like, they got to tighten some shit up, bro.
They do.
Like,
they do.
Like, I mean, you got brand new signee fighting with people like with 35 followers, subscribers,
for what?
And pointing out that they have that many subscribers. Like, I mean, you're Ricochet, bro. You're in the WWE. You wrestled Logan Paul. Like you had major spots at WrestleMania. You really ain't got to do that, man. You could just go there, shut up, and wrestle, and not even to be like that. Because like nothing's wrong with you talking, but sometimes the shut up part comes from maybe you ain't saying nothing worth value, and if you ain't doing something worth value, what the fuck you saying?
Yeah. Tony's asking about what we thought about his debut. It was a debut. It was a debut. I feel like his true debut was going to be tonight against Kyle Fletcher, but like, I mean, you brought him in, you put him in a gauntlet match for an opportunity to win. He didn't win. I don't know. It was a debut. How about that? I know that sounds like a cop out, OG Tony, but I'll just say it was a debut. That's it.
No, I think he killed it right here with the lackluster. I mean, I don't know. The little quick scenario that I shot out just a little bit ago about if he had re-signed with WWE and the continuation of a feud with Braun, I see that as a real thing that could have happened, and like, I mean, that would have been way better than being a runner-up in a battle royal.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. Once again, don't want to keep harping on that.
No.
We're once again happy for Pete Dunne. I love to see this reemergence of Pete Dunne, and seeing everything that he's doing. It's good stuff. I'm enjoying it. And we're going to continue this conversation because we still have a few things to talk about. Randy Orton cut a promo leading up to his match this Saturday with Gunther. We had a great Attitude Era-esque segment with Big Bronson Reed. We still had our main event, the in-ring debut of Uncle Howdy up against Chad Gable, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to continue to talk about that. But before we do that, we're going to take a break, pay a few bills, and when we come back, we're going to continue our discussion on Monday Night Raw.
A-N-I-S. Anus. Bam. 800 points. That's game.
It's not how you spell anus.
I went to Ivy Tech for 2.5 years, bro. I can spell anus.
You know what? I know an expert in this field.
I think I know who you're talking about.
What are you guys doing? We gotta go play Harvest Fest. I'm in here getting all of our gear, and you guys are here playing Scrabble? Again?
You know what, Maddie? You can settle this for us.
Yeah. How do you spell anus?
I'm not gonna settle another Scrabble discrepancy for you guys. That's the third time this week.
Calm down, Maddie. Harvest Fest isn't until September 14th. Gates open at 4 p.m.
Yeah. At the Miami Open Air Auditorium. Google for directions.
Are you telling me that Harvest Fest X is not until September 14th? Featuring bands such as Fourth Among Midgets, Forgotten Ashes, Tight Like a Tiger, GPD, Resonate, and Patron? September 14th?
I'm hungry.
Shut up! There's gonna be food at Harvest Fest. The lunch break's coming down, and they're gonna make delicious burgers!
I'm not having fun anymore.
Fun? You wanna have fun? Well, I got a doozy for you, because the Kokomo Press is coming out, and they're gonna have stand-up comedians. We're talking Sean D., Pierce Clott, Michael Howard, Greg Lindberg, Alexa Eden, Davey Moomaw, Jordan Granger, Jacob Harder, Brian Allen West, and Dan Alton.
Say it, don't spray it.
Maddie! Bro.
Since you put it that way, bro. You know, you're right. You guys... I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have blown off the handle like that. Here's how you spell anus. A-N-U-S. Just think about it like I do. The way I remember it, it's an United States, right? So, anyways, I'll see you guys September 14th at Harvest Fest X at the Miami Open Air Auditorium. Google for directions.
Bring a tent.
I don't get it. In United States.
Hello everyone, it's the Pope Elijah Burke, founder and president of the Love Alive charity. I wanted to take this brief moment to share with you my charity's continued humanitarian efforts to positively impact the impoverished communities in and around the greater Jacksonville area. This cannot be possible without your support. If you'd be so kind, please take a moment to visit our website, love-alive.org, to learn more about the charity and its mission. Also, feel free to donate to our 501c3 organization that operates off of the donation of the public, which is you. Whether that be by website or via Cash App, $1 help makes a difference in the lives of others as we continue to positively influence many people by being the change that we wish to see in the world.
Welcome back to In Your House. And of course, I'm the concept, all kind of house. And it's just me. My man had to dip out of here. He do producer things, all right? He does a great job, though. I appreciate him coming in. My man, Hypocrisy Jones. Check out everything that he is doing. Awesome work anywhere that he goes. But he's like a ninja, man. He'll come in, talk a little bit, and dip out. But I got to talk. I got to continue to talk. And let's move on to this Randy Orton segment. Randy Orton cut a promo. It was a good promo. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't. And Randy, he's really took on a new life as being a babyface. As much as I love Heel Orton, I'll always love Heel Orton more than babyface Orton. I will say that right now, I do think he's doing a good job as a babyface. It is kind of refreshing to see it. And as big as a babyface as he is right now, it's going to be even more satisfying that day that he eventually goes back to heel. So I think this was a good, I don't want to talk about it too much just because it's just, you know, it was just a promo leading up to his match this Saturday. I just don't think there's a whole lot to really break down, in my opinion. But, you know, he made a good point to saying that, you know, Gunther really made this personal. You know, he made it personal, and they're trying to do the best they can with the little bit of time that they have to build this feud leading up to Saturday. I don't hate it. I truly don't. I really don't, because it's just a little sub feud. This is Gunther's first feud, you know. So it's going to be what it's going to be, and then we're going to move on to the next. You know what I'm saying? And whatever is next for Gunther at Bad Blood, or if they don't do it at Bad Blood, then we got Survivor Series. I think Gunther's going to have a solid run. I do. But the big story is going to be who his opponent's going to be past Randy Orton. They've done a good job of putting him with Randy Orton. What's going to happen past that? So once again, not a whole lot, in my opinion, to talk about. You know, he said he promised to humble Gunther. So Gunther, somebody who's seen nothing but success, who's touched nothing but success. That's true. That's facts. He's touched nothing but success in his WWE run. And maybe it would benefit Gunther to have a little bit of adversity, but right now it's not happening. It's not. I don't see Randy Orton beating him for that title. He talked about the importance of the World Heavyweight Championship, which I've said on many occasions, and I stand by it. I stand by what I said. I do think that World Heavyweight Championship, especially going into the Netflix era, is going to become a more important title than the Universal Championship, at least for now. We all know the lineage. We all know the lineage of the WWE Championship, the Universal Championship. It has all that lineage. But the World Heavyweight Championship is the title that you're going to be seeing in the forefront when Raw goes to Netflix, which in itself is going to make that title super, super important. I'm sorry, but it is. I'm sorry, but it is. And if you don't agree, that's cool. But wait, I'm confident in what I'm saying when I say when we go to Netflix, especially if Cody's still champion at that point. I mean, what do you guys think? You tell me. I'm asking y'all, what's the main event storyline on Friday Night SmackDown? I'll wait. Is it Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens? I'll wait. Is it the Bloodline still? I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So that's all I'll say about that. But also I'll say, remember, September 15th, we got a big announcement coming for our on-location house party. My man Hype. Once again, he's doing all the footwork, the leg work for that. We got Andy doing some leg work for that, which is one of the reasons why you don't see her here. You know, we're doing everything we can to make sure that this event that we're going to announce on the 15th. Now, to be clear, this event is not on the 15th of September. We're announcing it on the 15th. It'll be at a later date. So I just want to be clear about that. Okay, guys? I definitely do. But it's gonna be big, just like this Netflix deal. Voice, I'm excited for it as well. But yeah, what was big, what was huge, nothing bigger than Big Bronson Reed right now. Big's right there in his name because he had a match with Braun Strowman. It was big, meaty men slapping meat, most definitely. That's exactly what we saw. But that's not even the conversation because the match ended in a no contest. After Braun Strowman chased Bronson Reed out of the ring, it just turned into an out-of-control brawl that went all the way to the parking lot. This culminated in Bronson Reed hitting the monster of all monsters with a tsunami off of a wall onto a car. And you saw the car spark, and it was a moment. And you know what? Screw it. I'm going to gush about Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed's one of my favorite things on Monday Night Raw, and I don't care. I just don't, because I look forward to everything this man is doing. I mean, whether it be his symphony of tsunamis or doing what he just did on Monday to the monster of all monsters, Braun Strowman, he's on a trajectory right now that is like crazy because he's been on the card. Bronson Reed ain't new to the Monday Night Raw roster. He's been on the roster for a while, having matches here and there. Maybe you put him in the number one contenders match or something and this and that. He's been doing it. He's been there. But what was his purpose? He hasn't had one. Now his purpose is to destroy. His purpose is to let Adam Pearce know you're going to notice me because you're not giving me opportunities, so I'm going to destroy your roster. Adam Pearce, he's lost control of this situation. He has, and it's unfortunate because Adam Pearce love what Scrap Daddy does. I love him. I do. And it's a show. This isn't storyline, so no reason to get upset with Scrap Daddy for real. But in character, he's lost control. He has lost control of the situation. And honestly, I think we need to start having a conversation about what to do about Adam Pearce and if his job should be in question. This man should be in the hot seat, in my opinion. I do think he should be in the hot seat. I don't want to see him actually lose his job for real because he's great with WWE and great backstage and all that stuff. None like that, but like, and I'm not saying I even want to see him lose his job as a GM. I'm just saying there's a story where it's like he needs to be on the hot seat. I think there needs to be a backstage segment where Triple H is like going up to him. He's like, listen, I think, you're great for this job and yada, yada, yada. But if you can't get control of this roster, I might have to find somebody else who will. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see Adam Pearce for real lose his job with the WWE, like out of storyline, like actually leave the company. I'm just saying there needs to be a conversation had where it's like, if you can't control your roster, I need to find somebody else who will. That's all I'm saying. That's it. So I don't know. Bronson Reed has completely been out of control, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I think that's a real conversation that needs to be had. Even if it leads to maybe Adam Pearce like getting a heavy or somebody who can enforce what he's want. I don't know. Whatever they do, I don't know the answer to that, but that's what I think is the Adam Pearce losing control of the roster is a storyline in itself. That's what I'm saying. You can build a storyline off of that. You know what I'm saying? And OG Tony saying here, the top view that they showed after they came back from commercial break was great. I agree. This was giving Attitude Era. And, no matter what you thought about the Attitude Era, whether you thought that it was just, crash TV or, most of it really wasn't good. We just have rose-colored glasses. Remember what was good. You're right. A lot of it wasn't good. A lot of it was really crappy television. A lot of it was really crappy matches. But everybody had something. Everybody. Top to bottom on the roster, everybody had something, which is a lot of what we're seeing now in the WWE, which we wasn't seeing like even 10 years ago. It felt like 10 years ago it was everything that was happening at the top of the card, and then everything else was like, we'll figure it out the day of. I mean, most definitely my thing. I remember vividly, even 10 years ago, that when Vince was in charge, I mean, there was rewrites even the day of the show. Rewrites the day of the show. That's sloppy. I've always thought that was sloppy. I've always thought that was ill preparation for a show. And we've been saying for years, that WWE was going to be better with Vince McMahon out. And guess what? Vince McMahon is out, and WWE is better. All right? We're seeing guys like Jesse Ventura come back and sign legend deals with WWE, which he announced on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, Insight. That's great. We have a real possibility of somebody like rest in peace, Psycho Sid. I'm going to talk about that. Rest in peace, Psycho Sid. We got a real possibility of him going into the Hall of Fame, which should have happened when he was alive, honestly. It just should have. But Vince is just, Vince lost his touch in those last 10, 15 years. He really did. He lost his touch. Didn't have his finger on the pulse anymore, which is why NXT was so awesome to watch because he ain't give a shit about NXT. He just let whatever happen because it wasn't his problem, or at least he felt like it wasn't his problem. And then NXT was great. And now he's gone from WWE, and WWE was great. Hey, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I am just saying that if there's smoke, there's fire. And the common denominator for years, Vince McMahon. So, yeah. And, you know, it's a crazy thing. But I do got to bring up here my man Hype saying, speaking of Crash TV, check out the Pope's newest interview with Vince Russo. The Pope's point of view, our guy, the Pope Elijah Burke. Great interview series that he does, and he brought it back with Vince Russo. Check out part 1. Part 2 comes out this Saturday on the podcast version, so check that out. And then head over to Pope TV to catch the video versions. Awesome, great stuff. But yeah, once again, I feel like that everything that you got moving right now with Bronson Reed is good stuff, and we're going to see some great things happening for him, I do believe. We also saw the debut of Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy made his in-ring debut, and it was pretty great. He went in there with Chad Gable, did a lot of his brother stuff. The official got knocked out in the final minutes of Raw. The Wyatt Six emerged to neutralize, the American-made faction. And the two factions battled into the crowd as Howdy regained advantage, overcame Chad Gable in the center of the ring with Sister Abigail to win the match. And he stood tall at the end. I think that's great. I'm glad that he won his debut. I truly believe that we're moving in a good direction with the Wyatt Six and continuing to move in that good direction. But, yeah, there's a but. I think that the Wyatts got to start taking losses. I do. Because they can't just keep being on top all the time. Because then it's like, what are they fighting for? You know what I'm saying? Somebody's got to get over on them at some point. And they got to really show their ass. You know what I'm saying? It's juicier with a little bit of adversity. I talked about that a little bit with earlier with Gunther, that at some point he's going to need to see some adversity. Because right now all he's been doing is being on top. You know what I'm saying? So, once again, glad Howdy won. American made. I think there's still going to be a great faction coming out of this thing. But at some point, I do think that the Wyatt Six got to take losses and overcome some adversity. It's got to come, because they can't just win all the time. Nobody can win all the time. And I just think it's going to make more compelling television for them if they're under sometimes. So that's just my thoughts on it. All in all, once again, a good episode of Monday Night Raw. I thought it was pretty good. Hype's asking, whom do I think in the Six who they should lose to? I don't have a good answer to that right now yet, to be honest with you. I mean, they've already pretty much dispatched the American-made stable led by Chad Gable, and it's too early to tell, honestly. Because obviously they're going to have whoever they go up against is going to have to be a faction war thing. And I think really the only way that they can go at this point without them feeling like they're going backwards is the Judgment Day. Wyatt Six and the Judgment Day going up against each other. So that's the thing. I do believe that it's something that we should see. And I like this idea here. We should have AI book the Wyatt Six through Mania. Great idea. Solid idea. If you didn't check out our AI generated segment from our ECW watch along, you should definitely check that out. We're going to definitely do more of that. But yeah, I don't have a good enough answer right now with the fact that Judgment Day is locked into what's going on with the Terror Twins, and it seems like the Wyatts are still locked in with what's going on with American Made. It's a situation where we got to have that conversation where it's like, what's next? Because it's just like my man Sam always said to me over the years when we were in different locker rooms, traveling together and all that stuff, a good wrestler, a good faction, a good mind in wrestling is always asking what's next. Yeah, you could be in the heat of something amazing, but you always got to ask what's next. And you always got to be thinking about what's next. And I think that's important in wrestling. So with that being said, I'd be remiss to not mention the passing of Psycho Sid Justice, Sid Vicious. I knew him prominently as Sid Vicious in WCW. That's where I saw a lot of him in my time when I was watching wrestling. Because when I first started, I was watching WCW. That was my first exposure to wrestling. Then I transitioned over to WWE. It stinks, man. It sucks. It really does. Because there was really no reason why this man shouldn't have been in the WWE Hall of Fame during his life. And I know that that's not the big thing here. I know, but it stinks because he's just he was a great talent, and he did so much great things over the years. So much awesome things over the years. Sid Vicious did. And once again, a lot of the time that I saw him was in WCW as Sid Vicious, but he did a lot of great things. Former WWE champion, WWF, former, WCW champion. I mean, he just did so much, He was with WCW during his first run in 89 to 91. Then he was with the World Wrestling Federation from 91 to 92. And, he participated in a 1992 Royal Rumble match. And of course, if you remember the 1992 Royal Rumble match, the winner of that match ended up becoming the WWF champion, as that title was vacated at that time. He had a second run in 1993 with WCW, and then another run with the WWF from 95-97, where he bodyguarded for Shawn Michaels. He was part of the $1 Million Corporation. He was also a bodyguard for the Four Horsemen. I mean, he did so much. He did so much. And I remember, he was billed by ring announcers as being from wherever he damn well pleases. And I just always remember his crazy eyes. You know what I'm saying? Crazy eyes, statuesque physique, great physique for a man of that size. Not saying that, he looked bad. He looked great. But this man was 6'9". Jeez. He was a big guy. And trust me, if you saw somebody like Psycho Sid Vicious out in a grocery store or a gas station, you would definitely be asking yourself, who is this guy and what does he do? Because he doesn't look like just any normal man. He had a very short run with Extreme Championship Wrestling in 1999, from January 99 to May 99, and feuded with the Dudley Boys, Skull Van Crush, and Just Incredible. He left ECW due to monetary problems plaguing the promotion. Of course, we all know about that. Then he had a third run in WCW from 1999 to 2001. And he had that very famous severe injury where he was scheduled to face Steiner in a match, main event at Sin in January 14, 2001. And, it was just a thing where he was coming off, he attempted a big boot, and he fractured his leg, suffered a leg fracture following a leap from the middle turnbuckle as he attempted a big boot. And this was on live television, ladies and gentlemen. The fracture was filmed during the event. It was too graphic for many TV stations to re-air. And Sid broke his left leg in half, snapping both his tibia and his fibula, with at least one of the bones breaking through the skin. Disgusting. He made appearances and returned to professional wrestling years later after that, but really didn't do much after that. He had one of the best power bombs in the business, in my eyes, and in the eyes of many, many others. Two-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, one-time WCW United States Heavyweight Champion, two-time WWF Champion. Rest in peace to Psycho Sid Udy. Once again, fantastic competitor, fantastic character. You definitely believe this man was a psychopath. But, I think what most people are going to remember him for, I don't want to say most people, I want to say his family will remember him for is not succumbing to the business. I'm going to let that marinate for a second. Not succumbing to the business. Many of these men die far away from home. They die in a hotel room. They die from drug abuse. They try to exhaust many, many years of being in the business because they're addicted to the spotlight. I think one beautiful thing about Psycho Sid Vicious was that in his final years, he was not somebody that was addicted to the spotlight. He was not somebody that was, he's not somebody that was a pill popper or known as a pill popper or a drug head or anything like that well into his late years. He battled cancer and nobody knew about it. He quietly fought like a hero. And most importantly, he was there for his family. Many pictures I've seen of this man with his grandchildren playing, watching him play sports, being there, holding his grandchildren, being a proud grandfather. And I think that means something. I do. I think that means a lot. Because a lot of these guys, they leave their families behind. And a lot of these guys don't understand family values. Respectfully, I'm not taking a shot at wrestlers here. I'm just speaking the truth. They don't understand the beauty and the importance of being around your family and the values of family because they value the addiction to the spotlight over a hug from your spouse, a kiss from your spouse, over your grandchildren telling you that they love you, over being there for your children's biggest moments. A lot of these wrestlers lose sight of that. And I don't think he did. He had the luxury of leaving us not drugged up in a hotel room thousands of miles away from his family, in his home, around the ones that he loved, the people he loved and the people that loved him. And damn it, I think that says something. I think that speaks volumes about the man that he was. Rest in peace, Psycho Sid Udy. You'll be remembered for being a fantastic in-ring competitor and an even better family man. And, there's no good segue out of that, so I'm not even going to try out of respect. I'm going to end this on that note. Follow me and my amazing team and everything that we do. Next week, Annie O'Neill will be back, and we're going to continue the Raw deal. Check out everything that my man Voice does a great job on Mondays. We see him on Sundays as well on our Sunday House Party, but check out Window Lickers. Great stuff. Had one of the best episodes, in my personal opinion, this past Monday. Check out our ECW Watch Along, where we will be paying tribute to Psycho Sid. And that's going to be great. I'm excited for everything that we have planned for that. And The Voice has great stuff planned for that. Check out Grunge Room, where we talk SmackDown. Gives you our SmackDown preview. Fantastic job. Check out everything that we're doing on our Sunday house parties. Great stuff. I'm proud of this team. Love this team. Proud of this team. And that just makes me, the whole Psycho Sid thing, just hug your loved ones, man. Hug them. Let them know that you love them. Love on your people, because you never know when that last day is coming. You guys already know. Follow us in Your House Podcast, in Your House Wrestling Podcast. And that's HOWSC. The W will always stand for work. For The Voice, Josh Joseph, for Hypocrisy Jones, for Divinely Designed Danny O'Neill, for Grunmeister, for the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon. My name is Alakhan, the Concept House. Here to remind you to once again love on your people. Tell them, let them know you love them. and hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone. Because the household is still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Hey, I'll see you on Friday. Peace.
Yeah. In your house with O'Kon. Hey, O'Kon in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Josh Joseph standing on his decisions. He is the voice. There is no choice. We as them boys in your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Smoke.